Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here back. My bed, my desk, my chair, praying mat. It is March 10th of 2026, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm not gonna lie if I say that this is all being, to say at least, very hard. It's Ramadan, and in Ramadan you refuse from eating, drinking, and all of your desires. And when I say desires, that includes your lust as well. Unfortunately, we're men and we're human beings. Thank God, because it's Ramadan, it's like hardcore fasting at this point. I haven't done this thing for as long as Ramadan is over here. Two things. I'm afraid what is going to happen after it. Second, even now, right now, my mind have been in chaos. I couldn't focus even though I have this Pomodoro timer, I have all those things, because my mind was thinking about something else and I am too ashamed of saying what it was. But I think you know what I'm talking about. The only thing I can say as a friend or as an older brother or as a younger brother, I guess, just keep trying, man. This war is only gonna end when we're gonna die. That's what I have understood so far. Because I have seen people who are married, like my own uncles. I have two uncles, right? If you go to their Instagram, listen, when you go to my Instagram, you don't see half pretty girls teaching you how to train in the gym, but you see in their Instagram. That tells me that this war is only going to end not even when you are gonna get married. The day when you end, all of your desires end. That's why you better try as hard as you can, man. By the time you are gonna die, it's gonna be too late. As you can see, this diagram right here, which we have drawn 2 weeks ago, is already full, and there is something I can be proud of. Just take a look at this graph. First of all, just compare this graph to this. Do you see any pattern of consistency except reading Quran and training? This is the only thing which I have been able to be consistent. There's nothing else from 9th of February to 23rd of February which I have been able to be consistent. This graph, as you can see, it has a lot more signs of consistency. I wish I would have been consistent with a lot more things, obviously. And I think I have figured out how am I going to go about this thing as well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here back. It is the same setup. This is my bed, this is my chair, my desk. 1, 2, 3 books here. We have Quran and I have this tablet which I have downloaded, like 10 books, something like that, right? MacBook. We have 4 notepads, so Chinese, Korean, Japanese, German, and Arabic. This is rocket science, and this one computer science, physics, mathematics, macroeconomics, basically 4 in 1. So this is the lock-in setup. Content creation is the main driver of our sales. All of the clients that we have in our agency, they all have come from the content I have been making. My co-founder is joining this challenge. We're making more, better content. This is the thing that I want to double down. So this is my notepad and this is how I track my consistency. Now talking about content creation, as you can see, we have only 1, 2, and 3 days we have not been consistent, but all the other days, thank God, have been consistent. As you might see, bottom 5 things, I'm doing them at the end of the day after I finish all 5 languages, reading Quran, content creation. The thing is, I am not managing, so we have broken my day into 3 different sections. I believe that this is how I am going to, inshallah, achieve greatness. This is better than previous version of me far. We have been completing at least 6 to 12 tasks a day, okay? That says a lot. You can do more. Now I realize, looking at these peak points, that I can do a lot. For a lot of people, 2 languages is crazy to think about. Bro, that's not even close. That's my rock freaking bottom right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw one Instagram reel, which I really liked, which says outwork everybody. And this is just exactly that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sleeping in the next room, so I'm not gonna be able to talk very loud. 5:15 p.m. in the evening. My name is Sanjar. This is day 400 something. Don't go into series from 0 to a millionaire. Let me share with you my notepad right here. First of all, just to be clear, this is 5 p.m. and we have completed, I'm vlogging right now, we have completed 5 languages, we have trained and we have read Quran, alhamdulillah, but this is not enough. As you might see here, content creation, Harvard Computer Science 50 course are marked to star. Well, because these two guys are the most important things. Second thing that I want to share with you, this is the comparison that I drawn for myself just to compare 2 weeks of my life. You might see that the green is from 24th of February to 8th of March, and blue one is from 9th of February to 23rd of February. This is the stats, the whole entire reason why I draw it. Before, in the blue line, I was not using the Pomodoro timer. Just pay attention please to the fact that everything in the green is above the blue line. Version of me before and version of me now. So you do have enough time in your day. Peace out. This is day 480 documentary series from zero to a millionaire. This is our regime. Here is the first section. Here is the table from 10th of March all the way up to 24th of March, aka 14 days. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is 13th of March 2026. Right now, as I'm recording this video, almost 3 p.m. and we have, alhamdulillah, successfully completed almost everything except vlogging, content creation. Harvard CS50 is Harvard Computer Science 50 course, which I also have to take and do the lessons. So while I cannot share with you the Stripe account and fancy graphics of how money is coming in, neither the fancy cars or a penthouse. This is my mom's apartment. I'm literally sitting in a living room and recording these videos on my iPhone 11. The only things which I have bought for myself so far is my iPhone and my MacBook. But the thing which I can share with you is the work progress. Here is the graphic of our progress. I'm tracking every single thing. There are 14 different aspects in which we have to exile. This is an average day. Before I started tracking my process with graphs, I just used to put a date and I used to just make this kind of points, and then if complete them, I used to tick them. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you cannot control the outcome, but you can indeed control the income. The results are not in your hands. You have to do everything possible. And again, this thing is also not the perfect way of doing your work. Ideally, every single day has to be on its absolute peak, and you should not have this kind of dips right here. That's the name of the game. You have to absolutely squeeze the max out of yourself. Okay, so I have scripted out everything which I had in my mind. Let's talk about what I have written right here. If someone would have come to us and just give us exactly $3,000, and then they would say, just give me it back whenever you can, but ideally, for the sake of discussion, let's say 1 year. Okay, so you got $3,000 today on 13th of March and 2026, and you just have to give back this $3,000 in 2027, 13th of March. I instantly started thinking about the things that I wanted to do, very urgently, which are not a secret if you have been watching my videos for a certain period of time by now, is first of all getting me and my co-founder together in one same country. Me and my co-founder have been planning for last 2 years to save up as much as we can, working 9 to 5 jobs, and from that money that we're gonna earn, we're gonna buy a ticket, pack our bags, and we're gonna go to United Arab Emirates. We're gonna rent 1-bedroom apartment somewhere in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, or Sharjah, and all we're gonna do is what is called locking in. Both of us are cut off from the outside world. There is no one who is going to distract you from your work. But then it gets more interesting. What we will be doing? When you run an agency, especially when there are only 2 people in it, what specifically do you do about the agency? Is it outreach? Is it content? Whatever. When you put yourself into this kind of urgent situation, when you have to give the money back in just 1 year, what happens? Everything else except then the tools which primarily generate you clients lose their meaning. 90% of the things which are in this list, 14 tasks right here, all of them except just one, which is called content creation. And the reason being is that the way we decided that we're gonna go about getting the leads and clients to our agency is we're gonna generate organic content, and after we're gonna gain some popularity, so to speak, we're gonna be using that Instagram, that YouTube in order to do outreach. This is not a new magic method. I think you have probably seen podcasts like My First Million, podcasts like like Founders Podcast. It's literally written that it's sponsored or powered by HubSpot or Ramp. That is sort of a thing that we're trying to do. It's not perfect for sure, they're not gonna lie. Content takes you time, but the thing I think will change the name of the game in the short term if you do the content and outreach all at the same time. And even more than that, you can invite literally your potential clients as guests to your podcast, and then they're gonna be just more lean on to buying from you in the future when they will need it. And if you're selling something very valuable and evergreen like websites and this kind of things that we're doing. So what am I trying to convey? I have shifted my regime, try to decrease the time that I spend on everything and increase the amount of time that I'm spending on content creation and Harvard's computer science course. So I limited the time that I'm spending. Arabic, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese all have a time frame of just 25 minutes a day. The skills, the macroeconomics, mathematics, rocket science, and physics also have a cap of just 25 minutes a day. Again, the results are not in my hands, but I can indeed make those videos and upload them and hope for the best. This is day 482 documentary series from Zero to a Millionaire. And look, 10:20 p.m. in the evening. It is Monday, March 16th. So there are a couple of things that I want to mention. First of all, again, looking at the graph, looking at the trend that we're following, we are not doing as good as we could have done. So today is 16th and we have only 1, 2, and 3 things done by now, and I'm vlogging at the moment. So the main topic which I sort of wanted to discuss before pressing the record button is relationship between me and my mom. While I was praying the last prayer of the day, which is Isha prayer, I was thinking about this thing that in May of this year, 2026, I am going to have my second semester of my college begin. And for you to sort of understand, I watched a lot of videos about going to college or not going to college. I watched a video by Alex Hormozy. A lot of wealthy people, a lot of people with great amount of money and great amount of authority that they have in some way or another. And in every way possible, the answer is if you are going to something as great as, for example, Ivy League, this kind of high echelon that it just doesn't make sense anymore to fail, because getting into those colleges is already a pretty damn huge win, and even dropping out of those kind of colleges is gonna get you pretty far. And I mean, this is the paradox, because if you are going to get into this kind of colleges, the way they filter out, you have to be successful by the time you apply. Well, that's the weirdest thing, because you have to have already made some amount of startups, have made a successful exit in some kind of startup and made some money. And it just doesn't make sense. You're only 18 or 19-year-old. You're just not gonna physically manage to do all those things. And the reason why you're applying is in order to gain the knowledge and the resources which are then going to allow you to accomplish these dreams. That's at least how I think college should work and function. College should help you to achieve those dreams. It should not be this whatever the heck it is right now. If we simplify the answer super, and I mean, it's better to make your own research because I don't know your circumstances. For me, going to any random college, and for a lot of people in the world, I think, because a lot of the countries in the world are third world countries, it just doesn't make sense, because we're gonna be left off exactly where we were before we were getting into this college. A lot of times we are lying our way to getting a diploma, and in some very corrupt countries like mine maybe, you might even bribe to get your diploma, so it gets pretty wild very quickly. The only logical way is applying either to Harvard or not going to college at all. In February of this year, I made a video called 19-year-old paying for his mom's surgery. I spent something around $900 giving to my mom so that she can spend it on paying for her surgery. I didn't have a lot of money, to say at least. I am not a millionaire, and $900 was definitely a lot of money. So I made a transfer to one of my debit cards. I gave the debit card to my mom and said the password and said, here you go, use it. That was a moment of proud. I, alhamdulillah, was proud of myself that I could have afforded something similar. I wanted to get a 9 to 5 job, save up some amount of money so that me and my co-founder then later can use that capital we save up to get out of our home countries, move to UAE with better infrastructure and conditions where both of us can first of all meet up, second build our business together and not on a remote. What I am trying to say, I was checking my balance on that debit card that I gave to my mom every once in a while. After a long period of time, I finally asked because she didn't spend a dime from that money that I gave her. It just didn't make sense because she did everything which was required, went through surgery. I think it was like 2 weeks after she had a surgery or 3 weeks after she had a surgery. And I asked whether she paid and she said, yeah, blah, 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 and I just understood one thing at that moment, that she probably just spent her own money, which she might have had, and she's just keeping my money, and that's it. So nothing really bad was going on. I still wanted to just my money to stay on one place, and she had a surgery, so win-win, everyone was happy. But then I think exactly one day later, the next day, she withdraw the money from my debit card into cash form, and that was the day I was a little bit pissed off. But then that same day evening, she comes back and tells that, first of all, she comes back with a lot of groceries. I understand logically that the way she spent those 900, it's my mom. She's not gonna spend it on dumb shit. She's gonna spend it on paying for gas bills. She's gonna spend it on electricity bills. She's gonna spend it on groceries. I understand it. Why am I telling this? Is because I talked about the university at the very beginning of this video. One of the things that she said that evening when we were having a dinner is, I paid for your college today. Okay, I understand paying for gas, I understand paying for electricity, I understand buying groceries, I understand paying for the mortgage of the home, almost everything, because I use that hot water as well. I am living in the same house she paid for that months of mortgage. But college was just not the thing that I wanted to pay for. Okay, to be fair, I was willing to give the money back they spent it on my college. The problem is, in the moment you are charging it. The moment I needed the investment and I needed the capital the most, taking it out of me was a horrible decision. Okay, I don't know what she was thinking about. I don't wanna villainify anyone. I'm pretty sure that my and your parents want the best for both you and me. Again, $900 is a lot of money. I am guessing that she didn't spend all of that money all at once, but a pretty huge chunk of it. So 500 out of 900 went probably to paying my college fees. I wanted to ideally spend those $900 on myself. We need the investment. It is pretty clear. We work those 9 to 5 not to hang out, not because I like the girl, not because any other reason than gaining capital. We didn't even gain any knowledge out of those places. And I'm talking about both me and my co-founder. I don't think I learned anything from my 9 to 5. I genuinely think that I spent my time, and in return someone gave me money, because the job I was doing, it still was a clerk job. I was answering DMs on Instagram, just to be clear. My co-founder was a salesman. He was selling courses or something like that. We didn't learn anything necessarily new, neither did we excel in what we already knew before. We literally exchanged our time for money. There's nothing really bad about it. We were genuinely going for it. But yeah, just think about this. You as a son, that's the thing about being a man that I really love, is that we unite in one of the simplest things, which is responsibility of being a man. Even if you're in America, or you're in China, or you're in Europe or Central Asia, we have the same problems. I want to take care of my mom, I want to take care of the house, I want to become the best version of myself, I want to be strong and rich, and I want to find a good woman, and etc, 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 right? So the paradox, which I hate, is that part of me wants to give that 900 away, and part of me doesn't want to give it away. Because if you think about it, those 900 weren't necessarily spent on any bad stuff you can name. But I needed it so I can go to abroad, I can invest this money into my business, I can probably buy a better laptop. There are many ways of investing this money in order to get ROI. And yeah, like the paradox of being a man, especially when you're young and when you're growing up in a third world country with a single parent. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, day 483, 1036, March 17th, documentary series from Zero to a Millionaire. And you might be wondering, why is this video probably gonna get uploaded not on March 17th when I'm recording this video? Honestly, I don't really have an answer. I have programmed my routine in such a way that it doesn't really count for the human factor. If you take a look on 17th, which is today, you might notice that we have completed much more than in any other day of this last week. Today is the most productive day since last 7 days. To be clear and to be fair, I was hating myself before clicking this recording button. You might see how exhausted I am even when I'm recording this video. If I would have just go to sleep right now, I know for sure that I would have just fall asleep. The last time I uploaded on Instagram was 6 days ago. And the last time I uploaded on YouTube was March 15th. Okay, behind the scenes of recording this video, I almost mentally broke down because this thing is driving me a little bit crazy. Because I know the potential, okay? I know the hours in my day, I know what I'm capable of, I know what I can do, but these factors do not accumulate the human factor. So in theory, I can edit one long form video. I have calculated how many hours I'm dedicating on editing, and this is just ridiculous. Once I spent all entire day and I didn't do anything else than just editing a long form video, which was literally day 480, which is the last uploaded video. And that day I didn't do anything else than just editing that specific video. Just being too busy with this long form videos and just not having the time and opportunity. I don't know what to do, guys. I am feeling the guilt for not working as hard as I can, but at the same time, guys, I mean, I'm getting very tired. I don't know what is out there, but whatever it is affecting my mental health and eventually affecting my productivity. Okay, so I mean, like, to be fair, alhamdulillah, you know, I didn't have those results. Even completing half of those things is 7 tasks in a single day, which is a ridiculous amount of productivity for a previous version of me. But the problem is that we're not comparing me with a 6 months ago version of me. We're comparing me with this guy right here. This guy. A week ago, 2 weeks ago version of me. And every time when I see a dip like this, it just, something inside of me just kills me, like it just swarms me. There is one more thing that I want to tell you guys that I have been thinking about and recently saw. One of my classmates, recently when I was on Instagram, one of the reels which I saw was from my classmate. I don't know if that video is actually real or fake, but a guy bought a car. The matter of fact that I saw someone whom I know very well and almost too well succeed. Okay, I don't want to hide, I don't want to lie, I don't want to do any of that shit. Listen, like, I know what you're gonna probably say, but I am not talking about logical thinking here. It is indeed very easy to say, like, bro, you are on a separate track, but I'm not talking about logical thinking right here, which happened at that moment, unfortunately. I'm talking about the unlogical, emotional thinking which happens whenever a young man like you and I strive to do better And that's what you can see within this all of this graph, like the whole entire reason why I drawn, the whole entire reason why these tables are made, so that I can track whether I am becoming better or not. And when you see someone, okay, I don't have to explain it. I just saw a guy who is my classmate and he bought a car, and I saw it and I saw it on Instagram, and that I felt something empty at that moment. Neither I was happy nor I was sad. I was just sitting there on one of my worst days when I completed 3 or 4 tasks out of 14. I felt broken. That's it. Okay? And I just hope that I'm gonna make it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is day 484 or 5. April 11th, Saturday, 9:30 p.m. in the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been vlogging for the last 2 weeks. So I have decided that I am gonna get back to the click, record, and then upload scheme of recording these videos. So first of all, we have made a lot of progress regarding our agency. We have been consistent for last weeks in a row. We have been recording every day 10 videos and sending them out to clients. So I mean, like, we have been doing both quantity and quality at the same time. The quality side of it is not super high. I just like the fact that me and my co-founder, for the first time in 2 years that we're working together, have been consistent for something like this many days in a row. The number 2 most important thing is moving out. We have been wanting to get out of our home countries as long as I can remember meeting my co-founder. We went from when we make a lot of money, we're gonna move out, to let's do whatever we humanly possibly can, aka get 9 to 5 jobs, save up $2,000 to $3,000 and just move away, to more like balanced approach, I guess. But we still have those option A, B, and C on places. Option A being the best, B being the middle, and C being the worst. Okay. These are the 2 coolest things because it is becoming more real. I am yapping, I know, because I don't want to teaser too much. I honestly want to just show you with practice and with actual vlog from country we're gonna move out to, rather than talk about how we're going to move out, to be honest. So this is the data for last 2 weeks. 25th of March, 7th of April. As you can see, it is a bit rough, but I believe that this one is gonna be much better. This is a new chapter, ladies and gentlemen. 11th of April, we have, as you might see, Alhamdulillah, first ever day in the last 3 weeks when I completed more than 10 hours of work in one day. This timer which is in here, it's like a YouTube video which is like 10 hours long. And I cannot remember resetting it for a prolonged period of time, ladies and gentlemen. And today was the first day. Thank you for watching. It is just grinding, ladies and gentlemen.